This is Jim Cornette. You're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com, and you made the right choice.
All right, and welcome to In Your Head Wrestling Radio. I am the internet icon, Jackie Jones. 1 Inch Biceps is not here with me, but you know who is here with me? She's of the legendary Hart family. We have Diana Hart on the line. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are we going?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm doing very well. And let everybody know you're actually going to be part of the New England Fanfest and Hall of Fame coming up. That's the 4th one, June 21st at Warwick, Rhode Island. And we have the link right on the website, but it's NEPW as in New England Pro Wrestling, HOF as in Hall of Fame.weebly.com. And is that fun for you to be part of the conventions and see some of the people you might have been around in the business as well as the fans?
Oh, yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. I've been training because I want to look good for the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. And I know I'm going to be doing something with my brother-in-law, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and he's always interesting to be around. And I'm really glad to see Harley Race is being inducted. I'm a huge fan of his. I know there's just so many people there. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, so that's cool too that you'll actually be at the Hall of Fame ceremony as well as the FanFest portion. Yeah,
and I'm doing a Q&A. I'm not quite sure what time or what where that is in location to everything else, but there's a Q&A, an autograph session, and Hall of Fame ceremonies, and there may be a brunch or some sort of luncheon too. But whatever they've got me down for, I'm in.
Yeah. Now your son will also be there, Harry.
Harry, he is he's all over the place right now too. He's in going to Japan a lot. He was in Belgium. He has been training over in Amsterdam with the world champion kickboxer Peter Arts. He was in France training with another kickboxer, Jerome LeBanner. And he is scheduled to go down to L.A. next week to train with Josh Barnett and Ken Yasuda.
Wow.
So, he's a busy guy.
Yeah.
He's doing me so proud, though.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. It must be, proud seeing your son do so well and travel the world and train with all these different people.
Yeah, yes, he's, well, I don't know if you heard about the thing in Amsterdam. He took down a robber.
Yeah, I just heard about, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, I just was so proud of him. It's just not, it's like, it's a former WWE superstar, Harry David Hart Smith, Davey Boy Smith Jr., went all badass on a purse thief while in Amsterdam. Smith witnessed a man steal a woman's purse, and while 3 security guards were having a hard time with the man, Smith jumped in, took the guy down, and put him in a choke. Harry actually had the thief tapping out, but refused to let him go until the security guards had the man secured. Many onlookers said the man was very aggressive until Harry stepped in. The guy went from a violent threat to a kitten in a matter of seconds. So, I mean, that's just, I don't know how much more proud I could be for a mom to hear that or read that about her son. It's just, mm-hmm. I was pretty, and I didn't even know there was a wedding going on in Calgary that weekend that he came home from that, and he never said anything. And then I saw it coming up on Facebook, these messages to me, and Twitter, or tweets, on Twitter, saying, you must be proud of your boy, and way to go, Harry. And I was like, what did he do? He does lots of really great things, but I was like, what did he do? And it's like, and I read this article, so I asked him, he said, I didn't want to take away from the wedding. So Harry, he should have told me. I would have, but I guess he knows what I would have done. I would have been telling everybody at the wedding and being a pest. So, but it was he's done that a couple of times. That's not the first time that's happened, but that's the first time it got worldwide coverage.
Yeah.
People in Japan were telling me about it and stuff. So,
That's awesome. He's a real life babyface.
He is. Yes, he is. He's been training, doing this CrossFit training. He took me through a workout today because I've been trying to get ready for the Hall of Fame. I want to look good for this, for Davey's induction.
Yeah.
And I must tell you, I'm walking like an old, like a praying mantis right now. Just freaking, like, I don't know, it's like I have insect legs and I need one to move before I can move the other one. It is not a fluid or sexy look at all right now, but Harry's enjoying it, though. He just breezed through it like he was running to the mailbox or something, but I'm just like walking gingerly.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, bring that up to British Bulldog. Davey Boy Smith will be inducted into Hall of Fame. Now, are you going to be accepting that for him?
I hope to be. I will be double checking with Joel Bruin about that because I know Howard Finkel is doing something as well. So I don't want to be.
Yeah, but I believe he's like the master of ceremonies.
That's what I thought, and so I've been working on a speech just in case I should just check with Joel, but.
Yeah, actually, it says here on the website, Davey Boy will be inducted by Howard Finkel, and the award will be accepted by his son Harry Smith and wife Diana.
Oh, well, thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
I really need to get in touch with my computer, my internet and stuff, but I don't. I'm just. I really am bad with that. I need to be actually taught properly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really challenged with it. So, I'm glad. Thank you for telling me that.
Yeah.
I will, train even more intensely. I want to look good for this. It's important.
It's a special event. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know Davey was. He and I did a workout video back in 1997. It's still it's accurate, the information on that's in it, but it's almost more of a nostalgic thing now with just because the gyms and everything have changed so much. It's really old school, but there's stuff in this DVD that interviews and stuff with Davey and Harry when back from 1997, and but anyway, like my point about that is that I trained a lot with Davey, and it was something also that I had in common with my dad. It was a real common denominator with me, Davey, and my dad, and so I kind of lost touch with that. I don't know, after we moved to Florida, it just seemed like I needed to focus on getting into a different life. I couldn't, work out of my brother-in-law's gym anymore. And so anyhow, I started training again, like when I found out about this Davey's induction. And I keep thinking Davey is motivating me. Well, I shouldn't say he's motivating me because he's not here, but it is...
His memory is, yeah.
His memory, I think he's watching me. I think he and my dad are because it's hard sometimes when you're just having one of those days and you just don't, or one of those weeks, one of those months, you just don't know why things aren't going right. And but I keep feeling like they're around. I'll keep seeing signs and want to pay attention to them. I don't know. It might sound so silly, but I'll hear a song on the radio that I hadn't heard in years, a very obscure song that I know my dad liked or something. I'll just take it as a sign and it's like, I gotta get in the gym and do something. And but I cracked my tailbone about a year ago, and it was quite something. I never realized how how bad an injury can be.
Yeah.
I've never been hurt like that before. So anyway, I was really lost my confidence after that. With you just feel like such a I don't know. I just feel like I'm not what I used to be, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Just.
Yep. You bring up Stu, and everyone knows the Hart brothers in wrestling. Did any of the sisters or yourself want to be a wrestler?
Oh yeah, I did.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's on any of the other daughters' minds, but I was the only daughter that really had I was a good amateur wrestler. But my mom was very worried about me getting too much of a taste for it. She, especially then, it was really not well. I wouldn't say not well thought of, but it just wasn't really something that we were ever supposed to consider in our family. The boys were the ones that were doing the wrestling.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I used to wrestle with Owen and Ross in particular. Usually we're fighting for real over something like what channel we were going to watch.
Yeah.
It was whopping 3 channels back when I was growing up, just 3 channels. But we would get into some pretty heavy-duty fights under the dining room table. But I think I became good because of that, and I didn't fight with Owen and Ross all the time. It was just
just siblings. Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it. My dad said I had good feet for amateur wrestling. So he said I could hook with them, especially my toes, my big toe. I could hook, but I was kind of involved with stuff with Davey and Owen back in 95 with Davey, and then 96 with Davey and Owen, and then a very little bit with the Hart Foundation when they did the Canadian Stampede in 97. And I really enjoyed. I was a different kind of person, though. I wasn't a diva. I was when I say person, I mean like the personality. I was more of like this serious role. And my dad and my brother Bret said that to me many times, that I was not a fictitious character. Like I had my real name, and I had to represent the family accordingly. So, I wasn't supposed to be going out there with a whip and black leather or trotting around, and I didn't have a fictitious name or anything. I was Diana Hart. So
was it ever at that time period? Did the WWF, the WWE, did they ever want you to do more in the ring, or did they ever come up with an idea where you'd be in a match?
Yeah, they had one idea for me. It would have might have been good. I don't know. It was they wanted me to attack Bret with a bouquet of really thorny roses, and I remember I had to call home as soon as I heard that. It was like in the afternoon I think on a Monday somewhere in the East Coast, snowing, and they said this is the idea, and Davey's gonna. I think it was coming up to that match Davey had with Bret in. It was a pay-per-view, but I can't remember which one. But a big one that Davey wrestled Bret, and
I think it was SummerSlam.
Kind of leading.
SummerSlam, maybe SummerSlam '92.
It wasn't SummerSlam. Do you remember which one it was? Right? When Davey wrestled Bret. Well, anyway, it was a big pay-per-view in 1995, December, like Hershey or somewhere.
Okay.
It was, and Bret and Davey. There was the Hogmen were wrestling just before they did. I remember Owen came out and he said, "Watch the the mats outside the ring, they're really
Just had the
oily.
slop, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And Davey went to throw Bret into something, and the oil was on the mat, and they slipped, and Bret went right into the stairs, and the next thing I knew, he was bleeding. And
I remember this match now because it had
Yeah.
a lot of because at that time, like the WWE didn't want anyone to bleed, and I remember he bled quite a bit. Yeah, and there was people saying he did it intentionally. He did, and there was a lot of controversy. I remember. Like how it happened.
I remember Davey did an upside down turnbuckle, and I thought he broke his neck. He just landed right on top of his head, and I was just, you can see my face on, I look like, I was not trying to be glamorous anyway, but I was taking my role very seriously, but I was horrified. I thought he had broken his neck, and, when I saw him after the match, as soon as the match was over, I was, went to his side and was just trying to find out if he was all right on the walk back to the dressing room. And then the next day, it was like all this commotion over Bret's head getting split open, and it's like, well, what about Davey's neck? He almost broke his neck. Does anyone, is anyone gonna,
Yeah.
anyone ask about how he's doing? But that thing with the roses, I believe that was leading up to that, and apparently it didn't. I never said no to anything. I was just asked, and I would tell Davey and call home, and I guess things would get chewed up and digested, and whatever they decided. And I would like to have been involved in more things. But I don't know if I would have been a good wrestler. I'd probably be one of those really horrible ones with pointy elbows that really clumsy. But I would love to have been involved more. That would have been a lot of fun, especially with, I probably would have gotten hurt a lot too, but it would have been a lot of fun, especially with Owen and Davey and Jim Cornette. And, maybe would have done more with the Hart Foundation too, but I don't know. I don't think I fit into what they had in mind at that time. I was just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Jim Cornette's been pretty good about it on his internet comments that I was used in the wrong ways, but I was really good at what I did. So I appreciate his little endorsement there. It really means a lot to me.
Yeah. Now, did he at that time did he think like you had a good presence to be a manager?
Yeah, and he was really good because he could be so flamboyant. He had the tennis racket and the bright suits, and we also had that lawyer Clarence Mason.
Yes.
He was doing a few things too. So we had kind of a little team up there. We had the lawyer or a legal team, and then me, the manager, and the sister or wife, whichever, with Owen and Davey, who was blind to all their antics, and then Jim Cornette, who was it was a really good little group that we had. And then Vader joined in, and I think that was around the time Owen broke his wrist wrestling Ultimate Warrior, so he was kind of just doing commentating for a bit, which was good because he would talk about me and Davey during our matches. It was good to have him in there because he was really pushing us. If it had been a different commentator, they may not have capitalized so much on Davey and me. Mm-hmm. So it was, and he was hilarious too. He was so funny in some of his comments because I watched it, and Davey's just blatantly cheating, and Owen is kind of arguing. I think Jim Ross was in some of these as the third color man there, but it's just so funny because Owen is right, but he's like, he can see his point of view, but it's wrong. Davey's cheating, but Owen's like, it's so quick. He had a way of making it look like Davey was 100% in the right, and he was very intelligent. So.
Mm-hmm. Did he give you advice to like what to do at ringside, Jim Cornette?
Yeah. He told me, that I wasn't supposed to be jumping around, but watch the wrestling like a boxing manager. So, watch. Don't be jumping around and pulling my hair out. That he didn't pull his hair out either, but that was for him to do. He just told me to I was just supposed to be like a real manager, just watching and be well, I guess like a good wife too, but Jim always said that I added legitimacy to it, so that I acted the way I would act with if it had it been a legitimate
contest.
So that's so that's what I did, and I think it was just from growing up with wrestling, I really watched it carefully. And
so you kind of had you had like instincts already of what to do.
Yeah. Yes. I would know when they would get hurt, and I was always concerned because I didn't want to be smiling or waving at the crowd. I don't know sometimes what it looked like to people, but I was also had like a front row seat to watching some fantastic wrestling, so I was really interested.
Yeah.
But sometimes the fans, they get so nasty with some of the things that they'd say to me. I just and Davey would hear it too, and he'd get into, or Owen or Jim Cornette, they'd say something to the fan. But they just totally rescued me. Which annoyed the fans like crazy. They're like, she's
they're there to protect her, and Just real quick, Boxman here in the chat room, he brought up, it was actually December 17th, 95, in your house 5 from Hershey Park Arena.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm glad I got the year and the city and the month. Thank God. I'm glad. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Nope. I just want to bring up, too, you brought up Canadian Stampede, and I remember that pay-per-view was... had just an amazing atmosphere to it. What was it like, being part of it?
Oh, it was just phenomenal. It was just extraordinary. It was so crazy that night. The fans were so hyped up, and I was very emotional. I don't know. It was just to think. What I kept thinking was, who would have ever imagined that this would happen? Like, there's Davey, Owen, Brian Pillman, Jim, Bret, and my family all at ringside, and the Premier of Alberta, Ralph Klein, and the entire, the Saddle Dome is sold out, not a single seat left in the house. And if you had said that 5 years ago, before that happened, that this was going to happen, Brian Pillman's going to, go from Calgary to WCW to WWF, and they're going to do, and Owen's going to be there. I would have said, that would be nice, but really, not, that would never happen. And I just was thinking about it was kind of when I came out the door or the curtain with Davey, I just sort of looked, and it's like, this is just amazing. It was just unforgettable. And the Canadians and the Calgarians, there's so many international people that visit Calgary for the Stampede. There were people in the audience from all over too, but everybody there was cheering for the Harts. And I'm so glad that my mom and dad were there to the fans were, by all the cheering and stuff, they were showing their affection for our family, which it's just amazing to have that feeling. You can't, if you haven't had it, I guess you don't know what you're missing. So, but if you do feel it, it's just incredible. I was so glad to see my mom and dad sitting there, watching this. They went through so much. They saw wrestling evolve, and just the whole world evolve from, for them it was quite amazing to see a bank machine, how you put a card in and get money back out. Yet they were, they were pretty much with the times. They were, but some things, I guess, mechanical were, they were sort of floored by, or electronic or computerized. They were kind of amazed by that. But so that pay-per-view was fantastic, and then we all got in the ring after, and it was just hard to ever get over that.
And as a fan watching, all that emotion really came through on the show. Really made it special.
I'm glad. Mm-hmm. It was genuine. Everyone really was pretty forward, and like in my family, and I think the fans were pretty wound up too. It just kept feeding off. It just, if you watch it, if anyone ever watches it again, it just, there were like the whole family was in the ring. Owen and his wife and and a lot of those people aren't here anymore, so it makes it even more meaningful. It was like the last big hurrah for in Calgary for my family. That we've had a few things along the way, like the Hall of Fame induction of my dad in Phoenix in 2010. That was quite a night as well. But we were a part of many things, but the Calgary, in Phoenix, but the Canadian Stampede, I know there were other matches on the card, and we were a part of a big show there too, but it just seemed like we were the end. Nothing followed us, and we were allowed to really relish in that whole atmosphere for as long as we needed. I don't remember rushing out of the ring. It seemed like we were in there for a long time, but it didn't seem like anyone wanted us to leave either. Like, I didn't get the feeling that, like, okay, we better go now because nobody's clapping anymore. It just seemed, but it was especially wonderful to see my mom and dad there for that. They deserve to, they deserved that.
See all their kids, and it's a nice moment.
Yeah.
And as the heroes for once, because in Canada you guys were the heroes, so
I know that at that time it was very strange. But in Canada, the Hart Foundation was they were superheroes. In the United States, they couldn't stand them. They didn't like any of us. So it was nice to have Bret sort of as the ringleader there, telling I just know how I was watching how some of the wrestlers were, it was like, well, we're supposed to be the good guys here, and the Hart Foundation can't seem to do any wrong here. And that night, actually, it was kind of funny because there was some cheating going on the Hart side of things. With I don't know if it was with Steve Austin and Owen or there was some, but it didn't matter. No matter what we did, we were, fans were unconditionally on our side.
Well, let everybody know you're going to be at New England Fan Fest, and you will be there to accept Davey Boy's Hall of Fame induction, along with your son Harry Smith, and that'll be coming up at Warwick, Rhode Island, June 21st, and the website is NEPW, as in New England Pro Wrestling, HOF as in Hall of Fame, .weebly.com, and that'll be a special moment.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it since I heard about it, and Joel has been really good. He's taken care of me, and I think first class arrangements, and I can't wait to see all the fans. It'll be an emotional weekend for me, but I know the fans will be there for me, and I look forward to. I love talking to the wrestling fans. They're just the greatest fans in the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, I really appreciate you coming on tonight.
Oh, that's they do so much, even now, at 15 years after Owen's passed away, and every year they will send messages to me about your dad's birthday or your mom's birthday, happy birthday, Diana, and God bless, and they don't forget. I can't say the same about myself. I'm not as I'm working on all of that, but I guess I just get stuck, and I don't know, I get sort of frozen, and I'm afraid somebody will think that I need to let it go, so I don't say too much sometimes. But when I do get messages from people saying that they still remember, I means so much to me.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and hopefully everybody comes out to New England Fan Fest and Hall of Fame, and we'll talk to you again sometime.
I look forward to that very much. Will I see you there?
Yes, I will be there.
Oh, well, please make your presence known when you see me. Come up and give me a shove or something and let me know who you are.
All right, definitely.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks a lot for having me on your show.
Oh,
I really,
thank you.
Okay. Have a good night, and well, I'll look forward to meeting you soon.
All right, excellent. Well, everybody know. We'll thank Diana Hart for coming on, and I'll be right back. We'll play a quick song here, and we'll be back with Bushwhacker Luke.
Okay, say hi to Luke for me.
I will.
Yeah, and tell Luke Harry says hi, too.
All right, excellent.
Whoa! G'day, Diana.
Hi, Luke.
How you doing?
I'm doing quite well, thank you. How are you?
And I'll be seeing you in a week or so. We'll be both up there in New England, shaking a few hands, and, I will be licking a few heads, too.
Oh, good, good. I can't wait to see you. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I was in Calgary last weekend.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I work for a company out there. Anyhow, I'll see you next week, Diana.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com. And this is Big Van Vader coming at you live and in color. It's full time.